Welcome to the videos. I want to thank you for taking the time.
Sure.
So John, just to introduce yourself to our audience, I mean, give us a bit, what do you do? What's your background?
I freelanced in the film industry before I became a plumber. And then I studied in the UK, did a plumbing course, NVQ, and then went on to do my ACS in gas, and was working for a mechanical electrical engineer when I met you.
Wow, that was about we were just kind of working it out about 5 years ago, wasn't it?
That was 2008.
2008,
yeah.
And this is 2014. We're coming
2014.
to the end of the year.
So we're almost 6 years.
So that's quite a big change from the film industry into...
Yeah, it is. The film industry is full of love and passion, and you pretty much don't have a life. So I guess getting a trade and going into plumbing was sort of like a life skill that was going to allow me to, be able to settle down and have a family. At the time, I was sort of getting married, and it was more sort of getting a trade that I could create my job from where I was, and rather than sort of traveling around the world seeking out areas I could work, which is what I was doing before, which is quite...
But also from your accent, you're obviously not a UK...
South African.
Yes, South African.
Yeah.
So a lot of people would think, well, South Africa seems like such an attractive place to go. What made you choose UK?
I have no idea.
No,
I can't.
I thought you come up with some big philosophy about why the UK.
No, I don't know. I think I'm a creature of circumstance. I just kind of get on with where I am, and I never really think about whether geography is going to make my life any more enriched.
But you're quite settled now. You've got a family.
Yeah, absolutely. Wife, kids, the whole catastrophe.
Yeah. And dog.
And dog.
Curly, cute dog. Just want to rewind back to that when you first started thinking about, because obviously people that be watching this interview may be looking at starting a business, or have got a business and they're looking at, well, how do I take it to the next level? How do I get started? When we first met, you hadn't actually started yet, had you?
I hadn't. I was too scared. I was terrified of it. I thought I'd get myself into a hell of a lot of trouble, and then you basically showed me that I could actually speak to somebody who's done it before. I think it was the fear of creating work for yourself without creating a business and trying to make it work financially, which I mean is a learning experience in itself. But I think your inspiration for me was to take the leap.
Take the leap. So it was that stage before activity is inactivity or hesitation or concern, or you're reviewing your options, and then suddenly taking that jump, having someone there maybe on the other side saying, look, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
Go. Like maybe someone who's going for a parachute jump.
Exactly.
Just kind of...
And somebody who's experienced, jumped 100 times, has gone, come on,
you can do it.
Get out.
Yeah.
And I did it. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we started working together all those years ago, and I mean, you've had your challenges like every business. It's not like even having someone on side means that like getting those things wrong, because that's part of your journey. I think you were, especially in the field that you're in, plumbing, heating, and fitting bathrooms, and there's so many variables. There's so much that can go wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'd be even worse for somebody who's coming from a background of a sort of 9-to-5 office job, because I was even freelance in the film industry, which, sure, I mean, it's not... you've got an agency who sort of are paid to give you work, so it's in their benefit to find you work. But even so, you sort of are sitting by the phone waiting for that phone to ring. Waiting for that job to come in, and that and you've got your mortgage to pay and stuff. So it's quite a scary place there. So that leap, for me, wasn't possibly as bad as possibly somebody who's always just taken a salary check.
I had a far more comfortable, predictable lifestyle where you already kind of...
But even then, I mean, I would say it was quite a leap, and it's massive challenges. I think running your own business and making it work and just putting it all the bits together and trying to focus in on what you're meant to be focusing in on is incredibly difficult.
It's interesting because this video interview is part of a series of videos, and focus has been coming up quite a bit about what you put your attention on.
Exactly.
And then in terms of when you got started in the early days, your first year, 18 months, what were maybe some of the shocks for you about, say, the notion of what it is to start a business and the reality of it, especially something like the business you're in? What was the main kind of areas that kind of go?
I think balancing out what's coming at you. So you can have these sort of crazy moments of the phone doesn't stop ringing, and while that's happening, the next thing I suppose you could make an analogy of a restaurant. You know, now you're busy and then people are sending the food back and the chef's screaming, and it's that
kitchen nightmares.
I love that lovely expression we always use, is a big balagan. You know, just everything just absolutely going ballistic.
And I think when we started working, and like one of the things I encourage clients to do is phone me. You know, if you're stuck with something or you've had a great result, I want to hear from you. And I remember...
I was too busy.
Yeah, I'll be waiting for you. One of the things that we adapted, I remember once you were phoning me and it was a bit like that, everything was flying off at one point, and I said, well, think of someone that persona you could take on that would just have all this work out.
And straight away I piped out the Harvey Keitel character, the fictitious character in Pulp Fiction, Mr. Wolf.
Yeah.
You know, corpse in the back of the car.
Yeah, with the head blown off.
With the head, So
and then the amount of times that's come up as a theme in our relationship, or when you've been dealing with something.
Incredible. And I see it's in an advert now.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, we should say
direct line.
Yeah, direct line.
Yeah. So when the water's pouring through.
Or that persona, or that alter ego that you could take on, or that way of being, because we do a lot of work around context and about who we're being at the moment, right now, has really kind of. I think that's been a theme in you dealing with your crises or breakdowns, or when things aren't going to plan.
Yeah.
You kind of snap into this persona.
And it's not easy either to snap in there. You know, you've really got to stop and say, right, there is a solution to this. I don't know what it is right now, but there must be a solution to this.
This hole.
The story you've created in your head by that time, and all the rest of the stuff, it's not that easy. But yeah, I mean, it does give you that opportunity to say, right, there must be something we can do. I'm the only person that's going to do this.
I'm the only one, so the buck stops.
And it's got to stop right now, and it's got to come back to normality again. And then, funnily enough, it turns into more of a fun challenge than an absolute dealing with nightmares.
Otherwise, you're caught in the drama. You get in, whether it's your team or your clients, you kind of get in the drama with them when these things are kind of breaking around you to be able to put it together. And over the years we've worked together, how do you feel that have been key points in how your business has evolved in through the interaction, through the coaching, through the engagement?
I would say that I would possibly have constantly been attached to the technical side of it, especially being a technician within the company.
Yeah.
And I think your influence has helped me the most to step out of that, put the other hats on for a while, and get organized. I'm naturally a disorganized person, so you can imagine the admin, and I'm now getting.
I've seen it.
The admin's not great, but it's a million times better than it was when I first started.
Yeah, and it's surprisingly better than you think.
And then entrepreneurially wise, I mean, I was just saying now how you popped over to see us the other day, said you got to get back in the sales, and now we're inundated with work. So it's amazing how it sort of just comes
so
around.
There's a couple of things there. So just go back to the other hats. I mean, some of the hats we talk about when we're coaching or we're working with clients is the organisational hat, i.e. the administration, the bookkeeping, balancing things, paying for things, the general administration of that business. Then you've got the operations of the business, i.e. doing what the business does, whether it's fix cars, fitting bathrooms, new boilers, whatever it is. And then finally is marketing that business, selling your services. And as an owner, you're kind of finding you're putting one hat on, then you're putting on the other hat. And especially if you're a technical expert, i.e. you're the guy that can fix the car, can fix a boiler, has to do the sales, it's kind of very easy to get trapped inside. So sometimes people, you could say that almost like the coaching engagement is almost like money for old rope. Because to just come down, and obviously this is over an hour and a half coaching session, but the sum of it was you're putting your attention somewhere, you need to put your attention somewhere else. Get your focus back on to sales, get your focus back onto the things that are going to pay you dividends in the next 2-3 months, rather than look up and go, right, we had a busy period, and now where's the work coming? It's like kind of like that, it's getting yourself back into that.
Yeah. And especially the nature of my business is it's not slow and steady at all. It's cram, and then either things fall behind, and so therefore you have to jump back, take that forward, and it does. I could say this with certainty to any entrepreneur and or anybody wanting to become an entrepreneur or wanting to run their own company, is that you got to not panic about where you are sometimes.
So wherever you are.
There's nothing worse than going out on to do a sale and having the constant worry about all the other stuff that's going on, and that is where you confuse the hats. You end up walking into a sales place not as an entrepreneur, not selling your dream, but selling technical issues, and customers don't want to know.
No, but on that note, it's like one of the things I'd love to do is get out and see clients, at the coalface, whatever it is. And I've been out a number of times and seen your guys. Your work is just immaculate.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, to see somebody care about what they do to the extent they say, look, okay, come in, have a look at this pipe work. Look how straight the pipes are. Look how everything's neat and tidy. And
anal plumbers.
Yeah, anal plumbers. Yeah, get all sorts of calls on that one. But the thing for me is, whether that could be a tomato sauce on your pizzas, it could be the way you tune a car, it could be the way you do the books as an accountant. It's actually, you take pride in what you do, and people know that. Your customers know that.
Yeah.
And they tell other people. And especially in your industry, I'm sure a lot of
our industry, our installation is the sales pitch. I mean, it's
it's on show
for the next guy. I mean,
and it's on show for 20
absolutely.
years, 15, 20 years.
It's our marketing.
Yeah. And to bring it up to date now, I mean, what are you finding is working for you now? I mean, like just this thing about getting back into sales and suddenly, I imagine just people sitting listening to this. What do you mean? You just flip the switch and go and get some more clients? But there's a lot more to it. We did vision, mission statement.
Yeah, I mean,
we understand your proposition.
I think there's certain clients that, I mean, when somebody, I have this line that I always tell everybody that nobody's ever in the market for a plumber until they're in the market for a plumber. And so, you can sort of be inundated with a lot of people calling you for a lot of different things, and you have this obligation to help them because there's always this need, this necessity. Desperate people. Oh, my heating's not working.
Of course, and it's quite stressful.
And it is.
If you've got children or elderly people.
So when you're too busy and you start wanting to turn them away, So really, I think what's working for us at the moment is becoming super organized, just taking the bull by the horns. So when somebody doesn't have any heating, to get a technician out there, just find a slot, find a place. And also leaving a third man, like a full back in a rugby team. Somebody who's just we will make sure that everything gets sorted there. And somebody who's a little bit more free and a little bit more flexible.
So building capacity in...
To rush into sort of more, I don't call them emergency, but sort of...
Flex up?
So not an emergency situation, but something that's pretty urgent.
Fallback.
And a fallback guy that can deal with the urgent stuff, and that's working for us at the moment from a delivery point of view.
So if I put my coach's hat on, what I'm hearing is actually always build in to make the most of the opportunities that come at you. Because I suppose when you're busy, it's very easy to drop balls and let things slip away.
Exactly.
Whereas when you're quiet, you're on it. But when you're not, it's actually to keep that.
So what it is that making sure that what we call busy is when two of our technicians are absolutely chock-a-block, but one third one is just there as a reserve, is busy. What you don't want to get yourself into is where you just have you're turning away business as it's coming in.
I just want to change the subject slightly.
Sure.
One of the things that we encourage you to do as well is like redo your websites. We kind of got you doing social media, and it's kind of two things that came up for me about the innovations that we kind of took you down. One was self-created, which was the Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Which I'd like you to tell us a bit about that. And then the other one was time-lapse photography.
Yeah.
And how you've used time-lapse.
Well, the time-lapse was your idea completely.
Totally.
I don't know where where did you know about it?
It wasn't so much the time-lapse. I was thinking, how can we demonstrate the value? Because if you look at, say, a bathroom or a kitchen or an installation of some sort, all the work is hidden. It's under the floorboards. It's behind the walls.
Yeah. And nobody's around to see it, apart from the fly on the wall.
And you're sitting there talking to a client about how good you are and all the things that are going to be done. They're thinking about the illusion of a bathroom or a kitchen, but behind it, there's a huge amount of work, there's a huge amount of value, and there's a lot of places where people can cut corners, not do the work properly. And the way I thought of the time-lapse for your business was that actually when people see that in a 2-3 minute time-lapse video, they go, and everybody I've shown that video, or the videos, there's a series of them, everybody that I've shown those videos, they go, wow, there's a lot of work goes into a bathroom. And that's a 3-minute, 2.5-minute visual aid with the commentary, whatever, that actually demonstrates the value of your work.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. I think the time-lapse videos are illustrating precisely to the lengths that we go to get it right. You can sort of, I don't know if you know, I mean, you can stick tiles over tiles, and you can sort of not change the pipework. But we prefer it with our guarantee and our delivering of peace of mind, which is at the base of the theme of what we do, is we want to literally gut it, absolutely take every last thing out of there that was old, crappy, could rot, could go wrong, and reclad the entire thing, brand new, putting it all together, getting all the lines straight so the tiles are perfectly
So integrity is the main theme in your service delivery,
and that's it.
And if you're going to promise peace of mind, you can't promise that as a brand strategy.
And there's skeptical people. So the time lapse is the perfect opportunity to take the skepticism out of it. Okay. Look, that's it. That's what you're getting.
Tell us about Batman and Robin.
Well,
so people want to see Batman. So it's dynamic. Is it dynamic?
Well, Adam, my partner, and I are obviously the dynamic duo. And we were a bit inspired by Rodney and Del Boy's skit in Only Fools. And we thought it'd be really funny to get Adam, who's bigger than me. We are quite a big bunch of lads. I think we're all. I'm 6'1", and then Adam's 6'3", and Idis is 6'4".
Wow. So you always get paid then, I bet. Not always.
So Adam in the Robin suit was comical, to say the least. And then I was in the
and then you did the Batman Robin. You did a day of working as Batman and Robin, and then donated the proceeds of the day. We've been donating to the same charity, Rainbow Trust Children's Fund, which is our charity. Once a year or even twice a year, we try and have something fun. But I think the most fun we've had this year was a fun day.
Was the Batman and Robin theme. And it's just our way of giving back, really, just giving to people that are less advantaged than us.
What's really important. And then just a little last word about the future. How do you see the future panning out? How do you see your market changing? I know you're quite interested in niching down into kind of pressure, because water pressure is an issue in London. Kind of finding your niche and kind of you're quite an expert in making sure households have water.
Just continuing to get into it. I think there's a new product on the market. I'm not sure if you heard of it, called Nest, which is making plumbing and heating look a little bit more sexy. And we definitely want to get into
possible?
It is. This is a learning thermostat. It's an unbelievable thermostat. It's got artificial intelligence. It's able to basically decipher who's who in the zoo, what your preferences are. And as it learns, so as you're walking into your house, it'll record the time, the day, your GPS, because it's attached to your mobile phone, it can get your GPS readings. It knows when you're approaching the home.
Even changing with tech.
So eventually what happens is this learning thermostat learns your pattern so well that it can pretty much anticipate your heating so well that basically every last drop of gas is just going to your comfort and nothing wasted.
So it's a real way. So it's a fantastic way for homeowners to minimise their costs and make the most of that.
So we're going to get into installing those.
So if someone was looking to take on a business coach, I mean, we've used various funding mechanisms. There's some new ones as well we've used recently. Like I think we used to use leadership funding. We used a few years ago. We've used Growth Accelerator. We've got leadership and management. We're going to be leaning on in terms of developing your people and organisational skills. What would you say to people if considering these? We don't know how long these funding opportunities are going to be around to help people get more for their money. What would you say to anybody thinking about taking on coaching or taking on some kind of outside influence?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to add value to you, to the way you operate things. And in this day and age, it's become the competition's stiffer. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You'd speak to like my father-in-law ran his own business, and the idea of business coaching is a very foreign thing to him. So he'd be very skeptical as to what this is all about.
Why do you need someone else to come
But I'm sorry, this is not the 1960s. It's 2014, and everybody would love to run and own their own business and have no ceiling on the amount of money they can earn.
Right.
So
things are changing fast.
Yeah,
competition's
exactly.
high.
If you're not doing this, if you're not doing business coaching, you're not getting some sort of mentor support, you are wasting your time. Absolutely wasting your time. That you cannot do this alone.
So, is there anything else you'd like to add? Anything else you'd like to share with people?
Yeah, I mean, if there's anybody who's thinking about jumping in, don't do it because you can't stand your boss. Do it because you've got a dream. Do it because you want to chase that dream and you want to make it real. Because that's where true inspiration lies. It's not about the money. It's about adding value. It's about creativity, and it's about having a lot of passion and drive. So if that's what it's about for you, then I'd say go for it. Just do it. It's been a roller coaster of a ride. I mean, there are times where I've had to lie down and think, what on earth am I doing in my life? I have messed it up so badly by getting into this stupid business, you know. And then you get over that and you look back and you think, I wouldn't change a thing.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much, John.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you.